Thank you guys so much for coming back. It's always a pleasure having you on my channel and me being able to share these looks with you. First, I'm going to be highlighting underneath my eyebrows using clay in Stila's In the Know eyeshadow palette. Just gonna do that on both sides. Just going right over my concealer, and then I'll be taking Fire in the same palette and putting that in the middle, and that's going to be my transition color. So I'm taking Fire and I'm putting it not only as my transition color, but I'm sweeping it from the beginning of my eyelid to the very end of it, just putting it all over the lid so it'll be a complete finished look. And I'm also going over clay with it as well, just so that I start blending it. My next step is going to be using my eyeshadow primer, and it's by Milani. It's the lightweight invisible finish one, works on all skin tones. I believe I got this at your local drugstore. What I like to do is put on the back of my hand and then start making it a little tacky so that I lose some of the, I believe it's water based. I'm pretty sure there's no oil in it. So that I lose some of the water in that and that I get more product. In addition to putting it on my eyes, I put it right by my laugh line so that my foundation doesn't crease up when I smile, and throughout the day you don't start seeing that my makeup is setting in. So I do it on both sides of my mouth, obviously where my laugh lines are, and then I just dab it so that it dries up and it's not too cakey and ashy. And then I'm just putting it on my eyelid, again doing the same dabbing motion so that I can get it all over the base of my eyelid, where I'm going to be putting my main color, where I'm going to be putting the most product so that I don't start creasing up throughout the day and by the end of this video as well. Next, I'm going to be using the infamous Sigma E40 tapered blending brush, and I'm just going to be merging Fire and clay together, making sure that there's no harsh lines between the two colors, that underneath my eyebrow doesn't look ashy, and then right in my transition by the crease area isn't too red. It's looking good. Using my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, I'm going to be using that as a primer for my eyeshadow. Just going to be putting it directly on my eyelid, and then I'm going to be blending it out using my index finger. Now, most people blend things out with their fingers using the ring finger because it's less pressure, but because of this cute little dangly that's on my nail, I don't want to poke myself in the eye. Okay guys, quick disclaimer. So I looked everywhere that I possibly could think of to get the names of these eyeshadows for you, but nothing helped. I went on Amazon.com, I went on bhcosmetics.com, I went to urbanoutfitters.com, nothing happened. I'll let you know the name of the palette and then describe the colors, alright? Don't hate me, my friends. I'm using BH Cosmetics Smoky Eyes 28 color eyeshadow palette. The one that I'm using on my lid is the matte burgundy color. It's at the bottom row, second from the left. That's going to be the base color for this look. I'm going to be blending it out with a couple of the purples, but for right now we're just using this one color. Now we're going back to our Stila In the Know eyeshadow palette. I'm going to be using their dark brown. That's the color Earth. And I'm going to be putting that in the end corner of my eye and kind of bringing it over to the front corner of my eye. Heading back to our BH Cosmetics palette, I'm using the Metallic light lavender color. It's on the top row, third from the left, and I'm putting that right in the middle of my eyelid. It's just going to highlight that purple very nicely. I'm using the same color in my inner corner, just using a thinner brush to have the application be more precise. Now using a black eyeliner, the regular retractable one that you get from the beauty supply store, I'm putting it on my waterline, pulling my bottom lid down so I can really get inside there just to intensify the look of it. Now on top, I'm going to be using my Revlon Color Stay felt tip pen, and I'm going to give a slight wing. I'm aiming for this line to be as thin as possible because I want the focus to be on the purple and the other earth tones that I use on my lid. I don't want it to be such a dramatic wing, not as a bold a look. I do want my lashes to be highlighted though, so I'm just doing a really thin line right as close to the lash line as possible. Thumbs up for not being ambidextrous and messing up this wing. Would you look at that? Do you see those spots though? Okay, there we go. I'm pulling it together. Good for me. Thumbs up for me putting it together. Now it's time to use everyone's favorite, the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I'm using the shade Fawn, and I'm highlighting underneath my eyes. I'm going to do the bridge of my nose, underneath where my slight contour is going to be, and then right at the tippy bottom of my chin. And my forehead too, can't forget about that. LOL at this pink mustache. So I used the LA Girl Pro Concealer in their color correcting shade, the coral one. What I did was put it right underneath my eyes, so between where my bottom lid is and where my concealer starts, and then I put it at the corners of my mouth where I have like a little man mustache, and there's also some dark spots there, and then I put it on the dark spots on my cheek. What I'm doing now is that I'm blending out the concealer. I use my sponge blender, but I'm also using a blending brush. I use the sponge for the majority of my under eye highlight, and then I use the brush to get into the corners. I'm using the Sephora blending brush. I've had it for so long that there is no number on it. I believe that says 09. And what I did was that I set my concealer with the Sephora Bright Set Loose Finishing Powder. Just use the regular triangle sponge. Now I'm using the butt end of my sponge blender and blending out my little man mustache, color correcting. I have a little secret for you guys. I do not use your typical foundation. I'm using my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Dark Chocolate. And I'm just putting that along my face, and I'm going to be going over with my Sigma F60 brush and just going to be moving the product around. I'm going to blend it all out or buffer it all out later. And I use the concealer as a foundation. I do not have a typical foundation as yet. I'm still on the hunt for the perfect one. Alright y'all, let's take this bake out of the oven. I'm brushing away the Sephora Bright Set Finishing Powder. I'm brushing it to the sides of my face, and then I'm also using the brush to kind of blend it into my foundation so that there's no harsh line of a... Using my Sigma F50 brush, I'm just buffering everything out, smoothing it all together, making sure that it blends seamlessly. I thought that glitter was too pretty for me to leave it out of the video. Look at that beautifulness. Using my Makeup Essentials bronzer, I'm going to the top of my cheekbones as well as by my temple, put a little bit on my nose as well as the top of my lip. And I'm using my e.l.f. blush palette in the dark shades as well as using my e.l.f. blush brush to have my blush going on. Now, slightly contouring. I do not contour, you guys. I'm using, again, for my Stila in the No palette in the color Earth, I use my Sonia K. Shuck brush for that. Going back with my Sephora Bright Set Loose Finishing Powder just to make my slight contour pop a little bit. I'm going to bake it for like 2.5 seconds underneath there. And I'm gonna buff it all away. Using the same Sigma F50 brush, just blending all these colors together, making it look really pretty and beautiful. Now I'm going to be using my Benefit mascara, just going over it slightly. I also not doing lashes for this look. I kind of want it to be subtle, and again, a lot more focus on the eyeshadow as opposed to the fixings around it. I'm using it on my bottom and my top lashes. I didn't add any more product to my F50 brush. I'm just neutralizing my lips and going in with MAC's Rebel, putting it all over my lip line. And the color was a bit too intense for me, so I'm going to vamp it up a bit and use a black eyeliner pencil with a very thick crayon part and put that all over the perimeter of my lips and blot it out as much as possible so that it's really blended. Not too much of a significant ombre lip, just a lot more darker. Now I'm cleaning it up using my e.l.f. eyeliner brush and my Black Opal Total Coverage Concealing Foundation. Just carving out the shape of my lips again because I kind of messed that up using the black liner. Going around the outer corners of my lips, giving that pouty look that everyone loves. Now I'm using my sponge blender and just going over everything that I carved out, just making sure that it blends perfectly into my foundation, and that completes the look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if there's anything that you want to see in my next video. Be sure to like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Bye!